Below the shadow of a silent giant, the city of Pompeii thrived, a jewel of the Roman world. Its streets echoed with laughter, its villas glowed with art and wealth, and life flowed as easily as wine in its taverns. Beyond the calm skies rose Mount Vesuvius, quiet, majestic, and waiting. None in Pompeii knew that the mountain they admired would soon awaken and bury their world forever. In the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii thrived as one of Rome's most vibrant and prosperous cities. Its stone-paved streets echoed with the footsteps of merchants, slaves, nobles, and travelers from every corner of the empire. The air was thick with the scent of baked bread, olive oil, and wine, the lifeblood of Pompeii's bustling markets. Vendors called out from colorful stalls, selling fruits from distant lands, fine jewelry, and freshly caught fish from the Bay of Naples. The city's architecture reflected both wealth and artistry. Elegant villas adorned with marble columns and painted frescoes stood proudly beside workshops and taverns. Every wall seemed to tell a story: mythological scenes, lovers' whispers, and the daily joys of Roman life frozen in vivid color. Entertainment thrived at the heart of the city. In the grand amphitheater, crowds cheered for gladiators under the blazing sun. Musicians played in open courtyards, and poets recited verses in the shade of olive trees. Evenings brought laughter to the bathhouses and feasts to the gardens, where citizens reclined among fountains and mosaics shimmering in lamplight. Pompeii was more than a city. It was a living portrait of Roman luxury, culture, and ambition. A place where life was rich, art flourished, and every moment felt eternal. However, below its splendor, the silent mountain loomed patient, watchful, and ready to write its own chapter in Pompeii's story. For generations, Mount Vesuvius stood like a guardian over Pompeii, calm, green, and fertile. Its slopes were covered in vineyards that produced some of the finest wines in the Roman world. Farmers tilled its rich volcanic soil, never suspecting the silent danger that lay beneath their feet. To the people of Pompeii, Vesuvius was not a threat. It was a blessing, a symbol of abundance, beauty, and the favor of the gods. No one alive remembered the mountain's fury. Its last great eruption had taken place centuries earlier, long before the rise of Rome's empire. The knowledge of its true nature had been lost to time. The Romans had no word for volcano, as we understand it today. They saw only a majestic mountain that kissed the sky, unaware that deep inside, fire and pressure were building a force of nature preparing to awaken. To visitors arriving from Naples or Herculaneum, Pompeii appeared to rest in paradise. The sea glittering in the distance, the mountains serene and untroubled. But below its quiet slopes, molten rock surged upward, and the earth murmured faintly, ignored by those who called it home. Mount Vesuvius, the sleeping giant, had waited centuries for this moment. To Pompeii, it was a friend. But in truth, it was a ticking clock, counting down to the day when beauty would turn to ash. It began like any other summer morning in Pompeii. The sun rose over the Bay of Naples, casting a golden glow on marble temples and busy streets. Bakers fired their ovens, merchants opened their stalls, and children chased each other through the courtyards. The city hummed with its usual rhythm, the rhythm of life, trade, laughter echoing off stone walls. Nothing seemed unusual, nothing to hint that this would be the last dawn Pompeii would ever see. By midday, the air grew strangely still. Birds vanished from the skies, and a faint rumble rolled below the earth. At first, people thought little of it. Tremors were common in the region. But then came the roar, a deep, thunderous sound that split the sky. Mount Vesuvius had awakened. A massive explosion tore through the mountain's peak, sending a column of ash, fire, and stone high into the heavens, so vast that Pliny the Younger, watching from across the bay, said it rose like a pine tree. Within moments, daylight turned to darkness. The city trembled as debris rained down from above, shards of pumice, burning fragments of rock, the choking ash that filled every breath. People rushed through the streets in panic. Some fled toward the sea, desperate to escape by boat. Others ran for the safety of their homes, believing stone walls could protect them. But the earth would not be still. Roofs cracked under the weight of falling ash. Fires broke out. The once familiar streets became unrecognizable under a growing gray blanket of death. What had begun as an ordinary morning, warm, bright, and full of promise, became one of the darkest days in human history. In the shadow of Vesuvius, time itself seemed to stop. As Pompeii faced the beginning of its end, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius struck with unimaginable force. As the volcano's summit split apart, a torrent of ash, smoke, and molten stone exploded upward, rising more than 20 kilometers into the sky. All through the night, the eruption raged without mercy. Lightning flashed within the black column of ash, illuminating a landscape of terror Pompeii transformed into a graveyard in slow motion. By morning, many who tried to flee had fallen, their final moments frozen where they stood. This was not just a volcanic eruption, it was nature's full fury unleashed upon an unsuspecting world, a day when history burned itself into stone. Before dawn, the mountain released its deadliest breath. A wave of scorching gas and ash, a pyroclastic surge, hurtled down Vesuvius at unimaginable speed. In an instant, Pompeii was consumed. Walls crumbled, streets vanished, and thousands were overcome by heat and suffocating fumes. Life ended in seconds, bodies frozen where they fell, faces turned toward a sky they could no longer see. When the storm passed, silence returned. The city lay buried below a mountain of ash, its people preserved in their final moments, a haunting snapshot of a world lost in fire. For centuries after the eruption, Pompeii slept under its blanket of ash and stone. The once lively streets, homes, and temples vanished from memory, sealed away by time. Locals spoke of buried treasures and cursed lands near Mount Vesuvius, but few knew the truth, that an entire city lay entombed below their feet. As empires rose and fell, Pompeii remained silent, its story forgotten, waiting for the world to find it again. In the 18th century, more than 1,600 years after its destruction, Pompeii was rediscovered by chance. Workmen digging near Naples uncovered ancient walls, frescoes, and strange shapes locked in hardened ash. Archaeologists soon realized they had found a Roman city frozen in time. As the layers of volcanic rock were removed, streets, temples, shops, and theaters emerged almost untouched, a living portrait of daily life in the 1st century. From loaves of bread left in ovens to colorful murals on villa walls, every detail told the story of a civilization stopped in mid-motion. The most haunting discovery came when plaster was poured into hollow spaces where bodies once lay, revealing men, women, and children preserved in their final poses, their expressions forever captured by ash. Pompeii became one of history's greatest archaeological treasures, offering an unmatched window into ancient Rome, its art, culture, and humanity. Through its ruins, the past spoke again, reminding us how fragile life can be below the power of the earth. Pompeii stands today as one of the most extraordinary windows into the ancient world. Pompeii's legacy is more than history. It reminds us that nature's strength far surpasses human pride. The same forces that built civilizations can erase them in moments. Mount Vesuvius, once thought a peaceful neighbor, showed how fragile life truly is. Through its ruins, Pompeii whispers across centuries, a testament to human creativity and a lesson in humility before the Earth's unyielding power. Pompeii is more than a story of destruction. It is a story of remembrance. Below the ashes of tragedy, the city endures as a time capsule of human life 2,000 years ago. Its streets, homes, and silent figures remind us of a civilization full of art, ambition, and fragile beauty. Through its ruins, we hear the echoes of laughter, the rhythm of footsteps, and the pulse of a world that believed tomorrow would always come. In its stillness lies a timeless truth that life, no matter how grand, can vanish in a moment, but its memory can live forever. Pompeii, the city buried alive, continues to speak not of death, but of the enduring spirit of humanity. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.